Hey, what's up guys, this is MugenLord and we're going to talk a bit about Fire Emblem Engage. So before we step into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell to be notified for more RPG news and fighting game content here on this channel. So let us dive into it. Now I know it's kind of strange, those of you who are familiar with my channel, has been following me for some time, that I hardly ever talk about Fire Emblem here on this channel, and I think this is pretty much the first Fire Emblem dedicated video because Fire Emblem Engage really strikes my interest. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's the art style and the visuals and how it looks, because Three Houses, I don't know what it was. It just didn't pull me in. Now, my relationship with Fire Emblem is pretty much started back during the release of Super Smash Bros. Melee with Marth and Roy, and I think that's pretty much everybody's first introduction to the Fire Emblem like characters. And because I remember back during Path of Radiance and then Dawn of Radiance, which released on the Nintendo Wii, that was my first Fire Emblem game, which I really enjoyed. It scratched that strategy RPG itch, because you know me, I love tactical RPGs. Final Fantasy Tactics is still my #1 tactical RPG of all times, but Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn really scratched that itch, and it really got me hyped. But when it came to handheld games, I'm not really into handhelds, so that's why I never really picked up any other Fire Emblem games. But the 3DS Fire Emblem games is really what made Fire Emblem pretty much mainstream. It became that #1 series for Nintendo after a while. It became one of their pillars, that every time a Fire Emblem is released, it pretty much does record numbers in terms of sales is concerned, especially for a strategy RPG. But Three Houses just didn't do it for me. I don't know what it was about Three Houses, but I just refused to just give the game a try. But for some strange reason, Fire Emblem Engage is just quite different. I don't know what it is that really pulled me in. And I don't really like the character designs for the male and female protagonists. That red and white and blue color clash just look ridiculous for the character design. But the overall gameplay and what we see here is we get this thing called the Emblem Rings, where it pretty much allows you to summon characters from previous Fire Emblem games, which I think is also pretty cool, which allow people to reintroduce people to these past Fire Emblem games who have never had gotten a chance to actually play any of those Fire Emblem games, while introducing new characters for this new title. So as far as I said, and as far as I'm concerned, I see that they're putting a lot more emphasis on different gameplay mechanics, especially customizing your characters, not only with different emblems, but different weapons, and pairing your characters up, which I think is pretty neat, which allows more strategy as well. And as I said before, it's just something that I haven't really played in a very long time, and I'm really digging what they have shown off so far, and especially the fact is that I get to play and have some of these emblem characters from past Fire Emblem characters, you know, games, to be in this game as well. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And as far as Fire Emblem's concerned, this is like the second Fire Emblem game that's on the Nintendo Switch, and I feel though that Nintendo is really really kicking these Fire Emblem games out. And I want to know, like, how long did it take them to develop this game? Because Three Houses, released 2, maybe 3 years ago, and we already on another Fire Emblem game. I was not expecting another Fire Emblem game to release around this time at all. I was expecting maybe we would probably have to wait until another Nintendo Switch console or something like that to see the next Fire Emblem game. But the fact is that we can see another one, a follow-up, I think that's pretty cool. And they also going to have a season pass already. I believe it's going to be about 4 waves. We can get introduced to more emblems and other gameplay features that's going to be added into the later waves. So, you know, Fire Emblem fans going to have a lot to look forward to. Whether or not I will get into, you know, the DLC season pass, that I would have to wait and see to see how much that this game is really going to pull me in. But what I've seen so far, and from the gameplay and what they're showing with the visuals, and I think it looks much more cleaner. I don't know what it is. It looks cleaner than even Three Houses itself. Now, there's some people who don't really dig the art style and Engage compared to Three Houses, and I don't know why, but I see that there's a little bit of divide in that sense. But I think the overall consensus, though, is that everybody is really, really hyped and can't wait to get their hands on this. And I'm going to say this the first time that I'm actually super excited and super hyped to actually get my hands on a Fire Emblem game, you know? So I'm definitely going to be picking this game up. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinion in the first impression. And then, of course, we're going to follow it up with a review. So if you guys are looking forward to hearing my opinions about Fire Emblem Engage. We just want to wait until the game release, and you'll be able to decide from there whether this is something that you're willing to pick up. And I maybe stream some of the gameplay as well, like I've pretty much streamed many of my other JRPG experiences with you guys, and I think that's gonna be pretty fun. But that pretty much wraps up this video. There's not really much more I want to say. I'm gonna just keep an eye on this because this game is looking really like neat. Like I'm really looking forward to this, and I definitely need to scratch that strategy RPG itch, especially after playing Dealfield Chronicles and waiting for a potential Final Fantasy Tactics remaster or remake that's being rumored for so long, but we want to wait and see. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Fire Emblem Engage? Do you think this is something that you guys are willing to give a try or invest in? How long have you ever been a Fire Emblem fan, and which Fire Emblem game has been your favorite of all times? So if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button because it definitely helps me out here on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you Game Fiends later. This is MugenLord signing off.